Guys, welcome back to my podcast. I am excited for today's episode. I don't know if you're coming from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, but if you're watching on YouTube, you've noticed that I do cut out certain points of the video to not be included in the Spotify, just so it's not as long. But before we get started on the topic of today's episode, I have my emotional support drink, as you guys know. This time I got a pumpkin caramel brulee iced. Um, Usually I don't get coffees here because I feel like they're so like bitter. I do like my coffees, but I decided to try this out since it was on the way here to the studio, and it's pretty good. I mean, 1,000 calories later, but I have leg day today, so it's fine. So, this is what I'm sipping on, and of course, my water, my emotional support drinks. But, anyways, today's episode is a little bit, it can be a little bit controversial. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit controversial in regards to, you know, culture, society, and just your personal beliefs, as well as like religious beliefs. But enough mammering. I'm gonna give you guys a quote that I seen on Instagram the other day. It said, "We should work hard so that our kids should never be in a position to build us houses when they should be starting their lives." And I was like, boom. That was like a hit to my understanding of trauma and cycles and generational cycles. I was like, um, for many of you guys that don't know, and a little bit about myself, like I said, I'm gonna be a little, um, I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable, talking about my own personal life. My mother lost her job a couple years ago, and since she lost that job, she kind of like she hasn't been working for those years. And during the first few months and even year, I was like, you know what, it's fine. My mom, she's been working for so many years. Finally she gets a break of her own. She gets to just be home, and it's my responsibility as her daughter and my brothers to take care of her financially, emotionally, spiritually, pray for her, whatever. As the years went by, um, I began to realize like I am hitting 28, yet I have all these plans of like moving out with my partner, starting our own family, getting married, having kids, the whole thing. But I have a sense of like guilt for doing so. Like, I'm gonna leave my mother. She's not married. She doesn't have a partner. So I'm like, my brothers are growing. They're all deciding to do their own life. But I feel like guilt for not taking care of my mom. Like, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna get a job? She's like older. Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to sacrifice my own life and my own dreams and my goals to take care of my family? That is something that has been drained into our brains since a young age. Specifically in my culture, the Mexican culture, they have drained in our head to believe that our parents work really, really hard to bring us to this country. They work to really hard to give us an education, to give us a home, to give us clothes, everything that we have, we owe them. And I had that belief till this day. I have that belief that we should take care of our parents and repay them everything they did to us. But do we really have a debt to them? Do we really owe them our lives, our sacrifice? Do we really need to sacrifice our own dreams and everything we aspire to do for them to repay them? Um, I don't think so. I think this is a turning point in generational like trauma and cycles that I have realized I need to break. You know, in other countries, people have kids. They put their kid, their oldest kid, let's say you have an oldest son and you have three other little ones. They send the oldest son to go sell the candies, to go sell cookies, to go sell whatever it is. They send that kid to go work and help provide for the whole family. And I'm like, wait a damn minute. Like, you decided to have these kids. You decided to not have only one, but multiple kids. And now you're bringing that burden upon your oldest child to take care of your other kids. Are we catching on? Like, if you are not financially stable to have one kid, why are you going to bring more kids to be taken care of? It's not your responsibility as an older child to take care of everyone. That oldest person is obligated to take over these roles that he didn't sign up for. Many of those times I've heard like those kids, they want to go to school, they want to have an education, yet they have no option than to work. They start working when they're really young. And I think that's selfish. Now, here in this country, we still carry our ancestral beliefs and, you know, culture that tells us that we need to take care of our elders. But that quote is an eye opener. I myself, I'm like, why haven't I have kids already? I'm 28. Like, why am I so scared to have kids? First of all, because I feel like I have been a second parent to my brothers. I have taken care of them for my whole life. Since my parents divorced, what, 15, 16, 17 years ago? It has always, I took on over that responsibility over them, not just financially, but emotionally. And for myself, I was a kid and I had to take care of myself too. Over the years, I went to school, I went and got my education, and I was trying to prove everyone like, I'm doing this for my family. What is every person's dream? Oh, I want to work really, really hard to buy my parents a house or to retire my parents. And trust me, it's my goal too. It's my dream to be able to retire my mom completely, which I kind of am now. But take care of her and give her a home. It's my dream, but it's because I love her, not because I owe it to her. You guys can cancel me. You guys can say I don't owe her anything. As her child, I do not owe her anything. If I ever accomplish those goals, which I'm sure I will, I'm manifesting that for myself. I'm manifesting that for myself that I will be able to give her a house and be financially free. But I'm going to give that through love, not through necessity, burden, guilt. Do you guys understand? I think that Everybody has heard, like, oh, your parents worked so hard. They should have worked harder on themselves. It's like, oh, they gave you everything they could. They should have done everything for themselves because it's a generational poverty cycle. Your parents struggled, now you're struggling because you're taking care of others rather than yourself. You're not bettering yourself. It's a tough topic to speak on, not just financially. What if your parents are like, I've heard the remark that says, "Oh, like American people are like white people, they leave their parents in like hospice homes, and us like ethnic people, we take care of our parents until they're elders, until they're, that's our duty." But it goes far beyond than that. They have shifted into this mentality that, like, their parents, they they don't owe them anything. We didn't have the option to be born, but they had an option to have kids. So for myself, I'm like, why am I scared to have kids? Because I'm not financially ready. I don't want to bring them to suffer. I don't want to put them in a spot where I'm trying to survive and I'm trying to survive with that for them too. It's a double. The Bible says, honor your mother and your father. It says, honor them. It doesn't say be enslaved to them and owe them your whole life. Let the years go by. I remember I told you guys about the video or the Netflix movie Nana. That man took care of his mother until he was in his late 40s. And then when his mother passed away, like, he was just like, man, like, this was my life. Now I don't have anything for myself, anything. He didn't get married, he didn't have kids, he didn't have a job or something that was passionate to him. It was more routine. So are we obligated to take care of parents that are sick, not just financially? No. I may be seen as like someone who doesn't, like, you know, I may have trauma, like, you know, with my parents, and it's not coming from a good place in my heart. Maybe I have resentment or whatever, but I feel like I would not put my kids in that spot. I would not expect them to leave their wives, like, not get married so they can take care of me. Like, if I had a son, I would not expect him to choose me over his wife. Once you're of age, you have to start your own life. You have to have your own kids. Who am I to stop you from doing that? If you decide, to have me there with you, it's because you love me, you appreciate me, not because you have to. That's how you build resentment with your kids, when you feel like you have to do something. I was also watching Alanized podcast, Chef's Kiss. I'm hoping one day I get to collab with him. That's in my delusional self, but I know it can happen. But his one of his episodes on Lorde, I don't really know who he was until this episode. I was like, but basically is this guy who, like, came from the Philippines, and um he had that guilt of taking care of his mom and his stepdad and all of that. And he felt guilty for not doing what he was supposed to be doing, which was taking care of them financially. Until this day, he does out of, like, guilt, not out of love. It's like a transactional love. And Alanite said, I'm going to be honest. I don't care if you guys say whatever, but I don't owe my parents anything. I do help them out, like financially, but I don't owe them anything. And you know what? He's a perfect example. He has a platform, very huge platform. And his mom and his dad are like older, not super old, but like they're elders. And he provided a space for her to create her own stuff, her own content, her own business. So now his mother has like a small candy business. It's flourishing. She has a platform on social media. So he made it possible for her to sustain herself. He didn't leave her like, oh, I'm rich now, like you guys are peasants and you guys are nothing. But he provided a way to still take care of them, not in a way that was expected. You know, usually when you go viral on TikTok and you get money and you make all this money, people are like, "Oh, you should retire your parents. Why aren't you retiring your parents?" It's not your responsibility to do so. This is what you are preparing yourself for your kids. You're going to be financially set for yourself that your kids won't have to worry about yourself. Maybe there is an abundance, an overflow of abundance that you are able to give your kids enough through what you already built for yourself, if you know what I mean, right? It's hard because I don't have kids yet. But from my experience as a daughter myself, I'm like, I know what I'm not going to put my kids through. I'm not going to put them through the same things that I was put through, you know? It's having awareness of those type of things that break generational curses and trauma and cycles and stuff that needs to be brought to light so that you don't have the same. That's why people stay in poverty. It's like myself, if I were to put all my money into like helping my mom, yet my dreams and aspirations, what about my plans of buying a home for my family, my kids, like myself, not even my kids, like I'm sacrificing my for myself. So I'm working really, really hard to provide a life for my mom when she had the option to do her own life. And she took the decisions she wanted. We all have decisions that impact our future. And sometimes you have to think about yourself. And it's not being selfish, it's learning to put yourself first. It can sound selfish, but it's completely not. The same with like, if you have dreams, let's say you want to be a doctor. No, let's say you want to be a teacher. But your dad and your mom, they're like, no, we want you to be a doctor. It's nobody's dreams but yours. You're not going to be working hard to, not only please them, but like they expect you to pay back everything that they did for you. You know what I mean? It's very much transactional. It's like you owe me this. This is the only I don't believe in that. Like yes, I want to provide for you. I love you, but it's not my duty. It's okay for me to want things for myself. It's okay to not. And like the thing is, like as a parent, you shouldn't feel hurt if your kids want to flourish without you. You should. I have like a sense of like overwhelming emotions with this topic because it's speaking against the norm, it's speaking against culture, it's speaking about against religious people and what they believe in. It probably is going against my ancestral, beliefs. But this is what I'm breaking. My future kids don't have to worry about me. They don't have to take care of me when I'm old. I would love to have them around. I would love them to be part of my life, but I'm not like telling them like don't get married, stay with me. Don't leave me. I don't have to have you under my wings. I don't have to protect you from everything either. I have to allow yourself as a mother to like allow them to grow. You're enabling your child from doing and growing their full potential. If you always have them under your wing, they're never going to grow. You're going to keep them in the same place, in the same trauma over and over again. And like back to like when my mom first quit, like we started having a little bit of problems because it began to be a lot of responsibility on myself, on, emotionally, financially, spiritually, um, because I had a lot of responsibility on my plate. And I remember arguing with her one time, and I was like, dude, you're young. Like, my mom is very young. I was like, you can still go get a job. Like, she said, it's your guys' responsibility to pay for everything and take care of me because I already took care of you guys for so many years. And that was like a slap in the face. That's how I realized, like, bro, the beliefs passed down. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's because, like, in Mexico, they don't have, like, maybe they do have, like, a social security, like, where the government, like, gives them money and takes care of them when they're elders. But in our cultures, like, if you have kids, they all provide for you, or one of the kids takes care of the grandmother. And that is passed down through generations. And I don't feel like that's like, why does one of the kids has to take care of the parents? Like, why is it their burden, whether it's the oldest child, the middle child, or the youngest, whatever, is nobody of the children's responsibility to do so? And like going back to the hospice stuff, like I'm like, people picture it as like, oh my gosh, like it's so sad. Like they're in there, none of their family members ever visit them. Like it's a toxic, like they just leave you there, they never see you. Like it's not like that. I've volunteered at hospice place, and it's like you're receiving medical help, you're receiving like nurses, and you're around other people, and I feel like you're fulfilled, like your life. Like not everybody, your kids' life doesn't stop. Like they still gotta go work. They can't watch you 24/7. They have to have a life. They gotta pay for stuff. They gotta work. Their life doesn't stop because yours does. Not to be messed up. But that's as simple as I can put it. Um, I think I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this video, but that's my beliefs. I'm not gonna bring kids to give them a burden of expecting them to take care of me, either financially, emotionally, or being present. You don't owe your kids anything, and they don't owe you anything. I mean, you did decide to have kids, so I guess you do owe them something. But you owe yourself first. In order for you to be able to give, you have to be whole yourself. That's what it is. That's the whole thing. And I've talked about it before. You can't give something that you don't have yourself. I think I'm learning to have awareness and healing before I have kids. To my future kids, if you're ever listening, because these episodes stay online forever, possibly. Um, I hope I broke that generational um, cycle. I hope I took care of myself good so that I could not leave you any burden for you. And hopefully I had enough so that you could be taken care of also. And you are free. You don't have to hold back for me. You don't have to stop your dreams in order to take care of me. That's so like emotional because, it's to your future kids. And hopefully, you guys feel the same way after this episode. You guys have a different perspective. Like, it's not your responsibility to take care of anyone other than yourself. It's not your responsibility to take care of your husband, your wife, even though that may be part of your vows, your promises to each other to be there. But definitely, we don't have a debt we owe our parents. Learn to love them without it being transactional. Genuine love doesn't require something back. That's why I love animals and dogs, and they love you unconditionally without expecting anything in return. You may not fucking you may not even feed them. You may not take them on a walk and they're still going to love you. Don't do that, but they're still going to love you. Parents, it should be like that. When you have a kid, it should be unconditional love, no matter if they're with you or not. That's your kid, your blood. They don't owe you anything. They should just love. That's it. I want to know what you guys think about this episode. I kind of want to do like a poll on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me, I kind of want to grow that Instagram because I want to have these conversations. Like, what do you think? I want to know what others think. Am I being, I don't know. Maybe I have, like I said, just trauma and, I'm resentful or perhaps. But what do you guys think? What um what comments do you guys have and what kind of topics do you like listening to? I like to talk a lot about different stuff, but mostly relationships, between family, friends, partners, co-workers, all of that. Spirituality, what it has to do spiritually with the 3D world. And um but yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. Today is Tuesday, Wednesday when you're listening to it. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.